Hello, Valora beings. How are you all? Nobody tells you how good it feels when you stop trying to have everything. That exhale, the one that comes when you finally, quietly put it all down. One of the most important things I realized this week is this: I can't have it all. And that is completely fine. Growing up, I carried this image in my mind of what a successful life looked like: an amazing career, a beautiful home where I cooked and danced and laughed, a wonderful social life, outings, gatherings, people who loved me, a fabulous body, a healthy lifestyle, everything, all at once, all the time. That was the picture. And if even one piece was missing, it was failure. So, for a long time, I called my life a failure. Nothing I did was ever good enough. I would revisit moments from my past over and over, those scenes that play on repeat, and that voice in the background would start again. You are stupid. Such a stupid thing to do. Why did you make that choice? Stupid is my mind's favorite word to use against me. And here's the thing: I didn't just want it all for myself, I wanted to prove it to the people around me, to show them I was worth having it all. Because from a very young age, I was taught that my worth lived on the outside, that I had to earn respect, earn rest, that if I wanted my voice to be heard, I needed to be good enough first. I was told that keeping a good name meant working hard, constantly, tirelessly for other people's approval. For 38 years, I tried to be the good girl, the good woman, the version of me that someone else had shaped and decided on. I poured myself into a mold that was never made for me because I thought that was my purpose. Some of you might wonder, you were old enough to know better. Why couldn't you just break free? Why couldn't you move on? Speak honestly to that. It is not that simple. When people pleasing is how you learn to stay safe, it becomes part of you. It runs deep. And breaking free of it means waiting, sometimes for years, for someone to give you permission to live the life you actually want. It is draining, it is exhausting, it is honestly terrible. So, to the woman who has been told she must have it all, from a woman who tried and couldn't, here is the truth: you don't have to. We live in an era where everyone is showing us some version of their life, and it can be deeply deceiving sometimes. But lately, I've noticed something shifting. Some people are starting to speak honestly. My Instagram feed now shows me the real, vulnerable parts of humans. Beautiful, poetic things. Artists who refuse to disappear into the algorithm and are creating simply because it brings them joy. Honest conversations that I can feel. And I just know who is speaking from truth and who is performing for reach. I love poetry. I love photographs. I love little carousels of beautiful words and images. And I have learned you can actually shape what finds you. If something doesn't get your time, it fades, such as the algorithm. For all its fault, it at least paying attention to what you pay attention to. But here is where I want to go a little deeper. There comes a moment, often somewhere in the late 30s, when it hits you. I am burned out. I need to stop. I want something different. And if you grew up making yourself small, placing others, never quite processing what happened to you, that moment doesn't arrive gently. It arrives like a wave. Mine did. I was so lost. I knew in my bones, in my soul, that I couldn't keep going the way I was. But I was terrified to let go because letting go felt like disappearing. What I have learned, and it is simple, even if it isn't easy, is this: never give up. Never. Keep going and slow down. I know that sounds like a contradiction, but it isn't. I don't want a supercharged life anymore. I want a slow one, a steady one. I want to feel every ripple, every small breeze. I want to be present for the quiet things. And I am not static in this. I lose focus, I stumble, I cry, I curse, I fall, but I get up. I am messy and I am moving. There is a point in life when you see it clearly. Yes, this happened to me and it wasn't fair. The anger comes, the grief comes, the fear and the anxiety that you thought you'd already dealt with come back with another wave. And you think, not again. I thought I was past this. Remember, you haven't failed. Remember, you are still standing. You don't need to be super anything. You don't need anyone's permission to become the version of yourself you are meant to be. And if you don't even know what that version looks like right now, that is okay too. That is actually where you start. You stop, literally. You stop rushing. You ask yourself, where am I even going? What do I actually want from the rest of my life? And then we begin slowly. It will be painful to look inward. I won't tell you otherwise because I've done it and I'm still doing it and it hurts. But those dark corners of the mind, they don't like light. Shine it anyway. Look, process, and slowly, slowly begin to figure it out. This is where the courage lives. Not in having it all, in looking anyway. You can do this because you are one courageous being and you don't have to have it all. You simply need to keep going. I will see you in the next one. If something in this landed with you, I'd love you if you can subscribe, like, and share. It really does help. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.